Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 62. A Web. Qing Chen stood on the tarmac, the hovercar's turbojets stirring up a noisy storm. Suddenly, in the distance, a light rail is seen traversing the sky between the cities. The dense windows emit white light, like a white Pegasus. What's even more amazing is that it is passing through the dense buildings. Not through the gaps between buildings, but through the holes that have been dug out of the buildings. The light rail shuttles through one tunnel after another, passing through the buildings. The city became mysteriously intriguing. Since you can come out at any time, why stay in the 18th prison? Qing Chen suddenly asked. Because the prison is quieter than here. You'll know later. Li Shu Tong did not answer directly. When the waiter led the way, Qing Chen asked again in a low voice, "It's already 1 o'clock in the morning, is the restaurant still open?" "The life in this sleepless city has just begun," Li Shu Tong replied, looking at him. "Don't people need to sleep? Don't they have to work tomorrow?" Qing Chen was puzzled. Qing's unique discovery of the junction neuron technology can simulate the neural band outside the brain, helping people to enter deep sleep. "Sleeping 2 or 3 hours a day is enough," Li Shu Tong said. "Is there no aftermath from this technology?" Qing Chen asked again. "Of course there is," Li Shu Tong said. "After using this technology for a month, you won't be able to sleep even if you want to sleep late." "That's a bit tragic," Qing Chen sighed. "Although he tries hard, he occasionally enjoys the pleasure of sleeping." Li Shu Tong said to Qing Chen, "Technology is a double-edged sword. No one knows whether it brings blessings or disasters to mankind. For example, Li has developed genetically modified fast-growing trees, corn, and soybeans, which have resulted in a large area of land not being able to grow plants again after 30 years. The Lu Island Consortium originally had a developed livestock industry, but after genetic modification, they found that those genetically modified livestock lost their fertility after breeding for 3 generations. While humans are constantly enjoying the results of technology, they are also constantly suffering from the backfires of wisdom. Human productivity has not actually increased after they don't sleep that long. Instead, it has caused a spiritual emptiness," Li Shu Tong continued. Of course, Qing Chen felt that the surface world has not yet suffered such a fierce backfire, or it may be because they do not have the same radical reasons as the inner world. At this moment, Qing Chen saw a huge flower boat flying between the buildings below. The boat was decorated with lights and colors, but it exuded a strange atmosphere. Qing Chen couldn't understand the totem on the boat. Li Shu Tong followed his gaze. "Don't bother to look. It's the parade ship of the mechanical god cult. They use the sweat and blood of their followers for every second of liquid oxygen methane sprayed." As he spoke, Li Shu Tong's expression was emotionless. The two sat in a sophisticated and luxurious restaurant. The well-dressed waiter brought a plate of braised pork in front of Li Shu Tong. There was only one pair of chopsticks. "What about mine?" Qing Chen was puzzled. "You're wearing a mask, you can't eat." Li Shu Tong casually picked up a piece of braised pork. Qing Chen. After a while, Li Shu Tong looked up and smiled at him. "Are you hungry?" "A little bit," Qing Chen said. Li Shu Tong actually called the waiter over. "Give him a bowl of fried sauce noodles." "Yes, Mr. Li," the waiter politely responded. Even in the Sunshine Pavilion, fried sauce noodles have never been made. After the noodles were done, Li Shu Tong screened out everyone and then said to Qing Chen, "Take off your mask and eat." Qing Chen ate the noodles while looking out the window. This should be one of the highest buildings in the 18th city. Looking up, only 2 distant buildings stood with it in the sky. "That's the building of Qin and Li," Li Shu Tong explained. Qing Chen looked down again. Bridges connected between the dense buildings, and the entire city was like a galaxy with lights and neon as the stars. Occasionally, a floating car flew by, and the opponent's turbojet flame was like a meteor passing by. At a certain moment, Qin Chen, who was on the 88th floor of a high-rise building, felt as if he was in the midst of heaven and earth, vast and magnificent. "Is this the most beautiful scenery in the 18th city?" Qin Chen asked. "The Eternal Building is built on 6 buildings. It is the height and beauty it has now with those 6 buildings as its foundation. If you don't consider the graffiti, urine stains, sewage, and crime on the lower buildings, then this is the most beautiful scenery here," Li Shu Tong said. "I will show you the most beautiful today. If there is a chance, I can also show you the ugliest side of this city." As he spoke, Li Shu Tong pointed to the windowsill. "There is a telescope beside the window, specially designed for customers to enjoy the scenery. You can take a look." Qin Chen walked to the telescope. He saw vehicles flowing on the ground, as well as people playing and frolicking. Some were painting strange but trendy pictures on the walls, and the smoke from the barbecue restaurant and the sake flags of the izakaya were blowing in the wind. Suddenly, he saw 2 black helicopters slowly descending on the platform of the square downstairs, and more than 20 combat team members jumped out of the cabin and entered the Eternal Building in tactical formation. There were also 2 mechanical dogs running swiftly beside them. These people were armed with weapons whose names Qin Chen couldn't even pronounce. It was obviously aimed at Li Shu Tong. Qin Chen turned to look at Li Shu Tong, but the teacher smiled calmly. "Let's eat first." "Okay." Qin Chen seriously ate his noodles. This time Li Shu Tong was interested. "Aren't you afraid?" It's the teacher's first time taking students out to see the scenery. The teacher won't let the students die halfway, otherwise the teacher is too irresponsible, Qin Chen said naturally. Li Shu Tong's laughter echoed outside. He really likes Qin Chen more and more. At this moment, more than 20 combat team members in the building were divided into 2 teams. One team took the elevator to climb to the 87th floor, and the other team entered the safe escape channel and searched upward on foot. Outside the Eternal Building, 2 black Kite 01 armed helicopters lifted off into the sky again. They slowly circled around the 70th floor of the Eternal Building, ready to provide heavy firepower support at any time. In a temporary military base further away, more than 10 armed helicopters and airships had just taken off. Further away, the Land Cruise, giant airship of the Qin family began to load new solid fuel depots in the busy logistics personnel. All of this was like a web that was gradually tightening. At the moment when the big net was tightening, the team leader of the combat team calmly said through the communication channel, "Stop, check the charging status of each mechanical limb in place, and report back to me." After speaking, he gestured to all the tactical team members in the safe passage to enter silent mode and briefly shut down all communication systems. When he was sure that the sound would not be transmitted back to the command post, he calmly said, "Chen Boss mentioned that if you want to leave here alive tonight, don't shoot. Remember, don't drag others down." "Team leader, I don't understand," a combat team member was puzzled. The team leader said, "You will understand later. Repeat, do not shoot, repeat, do not shoot." But before they had reconnected the communication equipment, a dark figure silently landed between them on the stairs. Fierce, powerful. Thank you for listening to this episode of the audio novel, The Timeless Hunter. If you enjoy this channel, click subscribe for more fascinating English audio novels. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, turn on notifications, or share on social media below so you can find this channel again. Let us know your thoughts. See you next time.